Next up, we have Tom Eirik with Sharks Are Friends, Not Food.
Hello, gathering. I'm here to talk about my favorite animal, the shark. Now, as you see, the topic of this is called Sharks Are Friends, Not Food. Sharks, they are great animals, and I love them for this reason. They have lived for 450 million years. They've survived 5 major extinctions. They are super great. And for the first time in history, they are facing extinction. Since I was born 30 years ago, 90% of all sharks have been wiped out. I'm sorry, it makes me emotional. It's really horrible. Most of it goes to fake medicine for cancer, men potency drugs, and shark fin soup in Asia. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Why do I really love sharks? It started with a book club when I was a kid. Every month I received a book, and the first book I got was about sharks. And I started reading about the small sharks from 16 centimeters, called the pygmy shark, to the whale shark at 16.5 meters. I was just in love. It took me 25 years to first see a sea shark with my own 2 eyes, and I will never forget that. For the last 3 years, I've been diving in Southeast Asia, and every day has a chance of a shark. But where we are right now, they are getting more rarer. We are culling so many sharks. We are fishing them up and cutting them for fins, and they have no protection. So I started looking into it, and like that, in 2003, only 6 countries in the world protected sharks. The biggest concentration of sharks are around the equator, and Chinese mafia and Chinese sponsored docks, boats, and even infrastructure for whole countries to capture sharks. They fish up the sharks, they cut off their fins, and discard 95% of the animal. Yeah. Shark fin has so much value in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan that it only rivals guns and drugs on the black market in the whole world. As a result of unprovoked attacks in Australia and in the US, interest groups started shark culling, and they targeted sharks that was above 2.5 meters. That meant that all the sharks that reach maturity after 15 to 20 years never get to have their young. And sharks have very few young, so they never had a chance to repopulate after being culled. Again, I started to look, what can I do? What can I do as one person? And then I understood the hardest part about trying to save the sharks. People were afraid of them. A friend of mine said to me, "Why do you want to save the shark? They are super dangerous. They will eat you whole." But when I started diving and seeing sharks regularly, I understood it was all wrong. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the likelihood of getting bitten by sharks. Sharks are not a bloodthirsty monster. They are balance keepers. They target the sick, the dying, and the plenty. They have a very strict no-waste policy. And sharks do not attack for fun. In fact, you're more likely to rise to a professional level of football end up on the opposite team of Luis Suarez and get bitten by him than a shark. But when I knew that even when we fight against organized crime, corrupt government, and even religious shark colors, we could find a way. In 2015, some things have changed. 85 countries have banned the shark fin culling and shark fin capture. Victims of shark attacks have organized and condemned culling of groups, shark culling in the States and the US. In China, the main land and main target for shark fins, celebrities of all statures have campaigned to end the demand for shark fins. And a major victory came last year when China took shark fin off the government dinner menu. So I just want to say the message is clear, and please hear us now. Sharks are friends and not food. Thank you. 谢谢。